What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and welcome to an all-new episode of All Hail the King. This is going to be episode number 27, and it's somewhat of a special episode because it's going to be an All Hail the King and Breaking the Meta crossover. Now, some of the strategies that we're going to go over in this video will be repeated, and that's quite simply because the same teams that are popular right now were also popular last season. But you know what, that's the whole point of this series, to try to break the meta and force a change. And if it doesn't change, well, at least we have the tools and strategy to defeat the same teams over and over again. Now, the other reason that this is very relevant right now is because, as far as I understand it, the next preseason will be a level cap tournament. That means that even if you're in a level bracket that doesn't see this team, well, I believe you're going to see a lot of them very soon. Level 300s absolutely love running this team, and I think that's the only team I saw for a full week. Of course, the team I'm referring to is Pestilence Beast and Red Hulk. Now, you just saw one of my setups for dealing with this team, and I'll explain why I like them. First of all, everyone knows why we're using the cube. Next, we're using the hand, but you could substitute a high damage weapon in its place. Then for a quick action item, I'm using the Neurotrope and the Scroll of Vaknazak. The scroll performs multiple functions on this team. One, its first seal helps you keep those buffs, and then the third seal can place despair on the enemy, which really hurts this team up. That brings me to another very important tip. If you can place despair on this team, you will severely cripple its survivability. Nearly everyone who runs this team uses Signpost, some sort of healing weapon, and oftentimes multiple healing items. So that's one major thing that you can do to help shut this team down. The other magical debuff against this setup happens to involve Exhausted. For me in this particular team, it's coming from Havoc. What Exhausted is going to do is, first off, limit those tacticians. Then you have to add in the fact that Beast is going to use a quick action ability, Red Hulk is going to use a Bulwark, and almost always the tactician agent is going to use the Signpost, or at least they'll try to use a buff action as a quick action. And that's not even mentioning Momentary Advantage, which is going to give them tactical maneuvers. Well, Exhausted will cut all of that right out. And then by using Pestilence Beast ourselves, we can trade their own debuffs back to them, and then take advantage of them as well. Now there you have it, this team can almost always beat the Red Hulk and Pestilence combo. But if you are running into a few other very popular teams, you may want to tweak this setup a little bit. First of all, this should work against a Deadpool and Pestilence team, because the Hand of Apocalypse should finish Deadpool before he kills you, although you may want to hold back on the Neurotrope until you kill him. Next, against the Loki and Pestilence team up, you may want to switch in the Satellite Support. This will make you immune to Disoriented, which is always going to be Loki's first maneuver. Then the enemy agent almost always uses the Blackest Void as well. If you have the Satellite Support equipped, well, that's just going to be 2 wasted actions. And lastly, you could have some problems with a Quick Lock team, or any team up with Psylocke. Since we don't have Iron Fist on our team, you may want to use the Raft Shank if you have it. 2 other good items that you can use against the Quick Lock team involve the Savant Spear for that shield. This will give you some added durability, and hopefully you'll make it through that opening onslaught. Next, the Mystic can be a lifesaver because it'll stop Quicksilver from putting Wide Open on your team. If you didn't know, Wide Open comes from the Pulverizing Augmented ISO 8, and it causes melee attacks to do 25% additional damage. Stopping this additional damage for that first round may be the key to surviving. Now, right after we finish off Beast, I'll show you a different setup, and one that can cover those additional team-ups as well. By the way, right after we use this in Probability Field, we'll take a look at that third seal. So here you see the third seal Vaknazak, and it causes despair on all the enemies, so prevents most healing and resurrection effects. In some of the longer matches, this effect is definitely needed. Okay, so really quick, this is a different setup that has a Satellite Support to cover Loki. Oh, and it also covers a character like Fandral who places Distracted. Most fights don't last long enough for Wild Blue Yonder, but it's worth it just for Eye in the Sky. Then if you're lucky enough to have it, the Raft Shank does have Combo Breaker, and can really hurt those Psylocke teams. But trust me, I know that many of you don't have these items, so our next counter team is going to be more focused on heroes. By using Iron Fist and Havoc, we have Combo Breaker so we can easily deal with Warriors 3 and Quick Lock teams, and we also have Havoc with Exhausted, so we can take out those Pestilence Beast and Red Hulk teams. Speaking of that team, we're being faced against the same exact opponent, but only with our new team up. I think in this case it's a good thing, that way we can do a comparison. A few things I would like to note as this battle goes on. First is that we can't stop debuffs, but we can do a big heal with Iron Fist. We have his single target heal and his AoE team heal. Then also, because we have his Ferric Augmented ISO 8, his healing also grants Rising Up and can help build with Neurotrope. Plus, all these buffs can be protected by using the first scroll of Vaknazak. If you don't have the scroll, that's fine, just wait until the Blackest Void is used. The most important things are, like I said, Combo Breaker for those Psylocke teams, and Exhausted for those Red Hulk Pestilence teams, or Pestilence teams in general. And if you have a way to add Despair to the enemies, that's going to be a big bonus. Now on Havoc's turn, besides spamming his level 6 for Exhausted, you also have one-shot potential. You should exercise this with caution, because if they do dodge it, well then you may be in some serious trouble. In this case it really works out because we take out Pestilence Beast, and now we can go ahead and do a full team heal, which will also remove and prevent debuffs. Then on Havoc's next turn we can go ahead and use Plasma Spheres, and once again place Exhausted on all the enemies. Oh, and I also recommend using the Ionizing Augmented ISO 8 on that level 6. This will add radiation exposure to the attack. After Red Hulk uses Bulwark, that's the end of his turn, and now our agent can use the second seal. We'll follow that up with a momentary advantage, and then we can attack twice, or use the Blackest Void followed by the Hand of Apocalypse on Red Hulk. We'll just make sure to get rid of that Bulwark, which is another reason why you want to have the cube, or some sort of removal. Oh, and our attack's going to finish Red Hulk anyways, but you can never be too careful. Now the enemy agent who is exhausted tries to get his extra turn, and that actually ends his turn. So with Iron Fist we'll use a combo, followed by a level 6 from Havoc, and then we'll leave it up to our agent to try to finish this match. First, since we can use a buff as a quick action, we'll start with the Improbability Field. After we heavily debuff this enemy agent, I'll go ahead and attack with the Hand of Apocalypse. Once this attack hits, it's going to be the end of the fight. This is also going to bring us to the end of the video, and I would like to thank you all for watching. But you know what, before we go, let's go ahead and check out both of our armories and our hero bonuses, just to show you kind of what you may be facing, and also to give you an update on my armory. Alright, so here we go. He does have a pretty balanced armory item setup, but then he has almost every hero at level 14. To be honest, that's where I hit a wall. I completely ran out of silver. But yes, this is pretty typical of an opponent, and sometimes you do end up facing people with much higher armories and all level 14s. Those matches are tough, but they can be won, and I'll show you a video against some of those opponents very soon. So stay tuned for that and more, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, good luck, and take care.